7 seconds. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. I'm also going to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who teaching the truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered four corners of the earth, which are the so-called Negroes, Latino, Hispanics, Native American Indians, the true Israelites that's coming out of the elect nation of Israel, and the nation of the Lord is dealing with, and no other nation, okay? This brother Iwanathan from GMS Detroit is back at you with another lesson, and I'm going to entitle it to some sort. Just because it's called Jacob's trouble does not mean you other nations are not going to feel the tribulation or the trouble. All right. So what I'm saying is, just because it's called Jacob's trouble, doesn't mean it's just all that you other nations, you heathens, are not going to feel what's going on. Okay. This is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So when you think of Jacob's trouble, just think of it as a bubble. All of these things are going to fit in Jacob's trouble. You're going to see, because the pot is boiling up. When you see World War III in full effect, when you see the implementation of the MOTB, well, the MOTB got to come first. Then, the full effect of World War III. Then, you're going to be seeing, it's going to be a time that, we'll never see, that we have never seen, that, it like eclipsed slavery, right? So these are the times that we're coming to, but these other nations are also going to be a part of that. But, the main thing is, this is really, the target of Jacob. Let me read on real quick. It says, "But he shall be saved out of it." Right. The elect. But again, this is just not just for the children of Israel. Right? You other nations are going to feel it too. Right? Because you got to pay for what you did to the children of Israel. That's why you get into Deuteronomy 30:7. Let's grab that. It reads, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemy, and on them that that hate thee, which persecuted thee." Right? We were always persecuted. We were always being made to look like the bad guy. And now you can see with DJ Trump how he's moving, all the stuff that he's committing, the blasphemies, the files. It's time that he's getting revealed for being the wicked, man. And, even on a smaller level, Pookie and Ray Ray will try to kill each other and in the ghettos. But hey, who's ruling this kingdom? Job 9:24 states that the world was given into the hands of the wicked. Who's wicked it? Who's running it? He is. So with that being said, let's get something that will link up to, because one of our curses is that we were going to, have hatred towards our brother, your fellow Israelite. But now it's these nations, these other heathen nations that are coming against each other. I want to get the book of Mark. chapter 3 and verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in a parable, how can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. If Satan let me read that again. 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but having end. You know, because you look at these other nations, hey, look at Russia. Russia's a key main player. You can get it at Ezekiel 38 chapter. Is a key main player to the destruction of the whore Babylon, spiritual whore Babylon, also known as America. Now, you got, you know, like I said, Russia, they're still Edomites. We got, you know, Trump, you know, Edomite. They're coming up against each other where this place is going to be utterly destroyed, man. So it says, you know, a kingdom divided against itself, or a house, or Satan rise up against himself, you know, says he cannot stand but have an end. Now we're seeing that this place is coming down, man. This place is going down because these other nations, you know, the brother always say how the wicked operate. All they do is take, and do more damage than good, where nothing can flourish. All right, from the economy, you know, because America got a whole $1 trillion worth of debt. Just the ecosystem, the you know, air, the medicines, the food we take in, it's all been destroyed over the leadership of this man. So that's why he's, you know, when you look at so-called America, it's, you know, it's the so-called a whore. And whores, all they do, if you get into, like, you know, similes and multitudes or comparing and contrasting, all the whore likes to do is really take, and really don't like to put out. That's what America is doing, and these other nations are mad. Even though they were in conglomerate or joined together, there were some things that wasn't always in agreement. Get the book of Amos. Amos 3 and 3. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? The answer is no, you know, because when you have some type of, you know, first off, that's going to start confusion. Like, let's get an example. When IUIC was with the Nation of Islam, though, you're dealing with two different beings. First off, you're dealing, if you're going to give the Heavenly Father his full credit, Nate, you got Yahweh Shai and some idol. There's things that you're not going to come up and go in agreement with. So it's going to start confusion, and then to a point, it might resolve into a conflict. So that's why when we look at the men of GMS, we're in 100% in one accord. Okay? But nevertheless, let's get back, because like I said, this is going to affect not just Jake. Isaiah. Yep, 19 and verse 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. All right. So basically, it don't matter what status you are. You can be high class, middle class, lower class. There's not going to be any work for America. Right. And, you know, the police like to work. Police like to, you know, work for a check. You're not going to see that. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it for the community. I'm not going to. No. It's going to affect everybody. Not just long ago, I think, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was France pulled all their gold out the one of the national banks. I said I could be wrong, correct me. But this is going to be something that's going to affect all the nations. You know, America is with the melting pot, man. You got, let's grab that real quick. Jeremiah, the 17th chapter, verse 15. Actually, we can start at 1 and then we can jump down to 15. Because all these other nations are going to be affected, man. All right, so Revelations chapter 17 and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 veils, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So that's talking about the destruction that's going to happen over here in America. All right. So let's jump down to 15 to get a better explanation of, you know, that verse. So 15, it says, And he said unto me, The waters which thou sittest, where the whore sitteth. I'm sorry, read that again. And he said unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. America is that place. You got your Arabics, you got your Chinese, you got your Hispanics, you got your blacks, you got your whites. Everybody's here. Okay? That's why when you see, like, read the book of Matthew, get into the 24th chapter, that's why it says, I'll grab that. Let's get it, 30. This is Matthew 24 and 30. And it says, And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with great power and great glory. Because that's when Yahweh Shai is returning. And in that time, and in those moments, even prior, there's going to be lots of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of dead bodies, man. There's going to be a lot of death. All right? And it's, like I said, it's not just going to be, I mean, yes, because the main thing that Esau is trying to do is cut Israel from being a nation. You know, Psalms 83. Let me just get that real quick. Because the goal is to cut off the children of Israel from their power. Because without us having a house, we're pretty much fucked. We're defenseless. Let me quickly just grab that line. Yep. Psalms 83 and 4. It says, They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So that's the ultimate goal. You know, even though all these other nations are going to be a part of it, the main objective was to get everybody MOTV'd, especially Jake, because, you know, if we get under what's the word, not property, if we becomes Esau property, that means we can't call on our Heavenly Father, and that's his ultimate goal. And like I was stating earlier, yo, if we don't have our power, shit, we're defenseless. And actually, I ended up on that one. So this is Isaiah 41 and 14. It says, Fear not, thy worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So when we wake up, hey, 1441, you know, right now on our own terms, we're powerless. We can't do anything. That's why it calls us a worm. There's no offensive, there's no defensive things that a worm can do. We're in a time where Esau's blessing is the sword, and you can see the increase of his technology and weaponry. But us waking up, calling on the Lord, you know, pushing out the prophecies, you see everything is flourishing, where now it's time where actually we can get help from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, because he's not going to meet thee as a man anymore. But, you know, he will be the one to help us. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But on our own, we can't. So, but the point is, like I said, these other nations are going to feel it. 2/3 of our people going to get destroyed. But, the main thing, that's why this is really just for the elect's sake. Okay? And that's why it says in the last line of Jeremiah 30:7, it says, he shall be saved out of it. That's the elect. Roughly paraphrasing. But Lord willing, I hope this video was edifying, to the sincere sheep, Aki and Makwath. But I want to close out and again give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Again, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, seeking truth and sincerity, and also who will well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. I'm going to close out, say shalom, to the next lesson.